Weak muscles don't just hold you back physically, they hold back your potential, your energy, and even your confidence. Most people think building strength is only about lifting heavier weights or pushing harder at the gym. But here's the truth: your muscles don't grow in the gym. They grow when you feed them what they're starving for. There's a simple shift that can change everything. One powerful, nutrient-packed snack loaded with high-quality protein and the amino acids your body craves can kickstart your recovery, rebuild your muscle fibers, and ignite energy you didn't know you had. It's not about eating more, it's about eating right. Think of your body like a high-performance engine. If you pour in cheap fuel, it sputters and breaks down. But when you feed it the right fuel, it roars to life. That snack isn't just food, it's a signal to your muscles telling them grow, repair, get stronger. Strength isn't built overnight, but it's built every day through the choices you make when nobody's watching. One snack, one decision can be the turning point between staying weak and becoming powerful. So, the next time your body feels drained and your muscles feel like they're giving up, ask yourself, are you feeding your strength or your weakness? Because the right fuel at the right time can change everything. Weak muscles are often caused by nutrient deficiencies, not just lack of exercise. And this is something most people overlook when they wonder why their body feels constantly tired, their strength refuses to grow, and every workout feels like an uphill battle. Many assume that lifting more weights, doing longer workouts, or pushing their body to the edge will automatically lead to strength and growth. But the truth is, the human body doesn't work like a simple machine where effort alone guarantees results. Muscles are living tissues that require raw materials to repair, rebuild, and grow stronger after stress, and without those materials, no amount of training will transform weakness into strength. When you train, your muscles break down, creating micro tears in the fibers, which is a normal and essential process for growth. But those tears don't heal themselves magically. They require amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and energy to knit back together, becoming stronger and more resilient. If those nutrients aren't present, the body begins to compensate by breaking down existing tissue or slowing recovery, leaving your muscles in a constant state of fatigue, soreness, and weakness, no matter how consistent your workouts are. It's important to understand that nutrient deficiencies don't always mean someone is starving or not eating enough food. In fact, many people eat 3 meals a day and still experience muscle weakness because what they consume lacks the specific nutrients muscles thrive on, like complete proteins containing all essential amino acids, B vitamins to help convert food into usable energy, and minerals like magnesium and potassium to support muscle contraction and nerve function. For example, someone might rely heavily on processed foods or quick carbs, which provide calories but not the building blocks the body truly needs. Over time, this leads to a subtle but steady decline in performance. Your lifts feel heavier, your recovery slows, and even daily tasks like climbing stairs or carrying groceries feel more exhausting than they should. The body is signaling that it's not just tired from exertion, but under-fueled at the cellular level, and until that is corrected, no training program, no matter how advanced, will lead to significant improvements. When nutrient needs are met, however, the change can feel almost magical, though it's purely biological. Give your muscles high-quality protein, especially sources rich in leucine, which triggers muscle protein synthesis, and you'll notice faster recovery after workouts and less soreness. Provide your body with healthy fats like omega-3s, which reduce inflammation and support joint health, and suddenly your movements feel smoother and more powerful. Ensure you're getting complex carbohydrates for sustained energy, along with electrolytes to keep your nervous system firing correctly, and you'll find that your workouts feel less like a grind and more like a performance. These nutrients don't just feed your muscles. They allow your entire system, from your brain to your gut, to function optimally, so the energy you expend in training actually translates into growth and strength instead of depletion. The connection between nutrient intake and muscle health becomes even more critical as we age or face stressful periods in life. Hormonal changes, increased stress, and reduced metabolic efficiency all make it harder for the body to repair and maintain muscle. Without consciously providing the right nutrition, muscle mass can deteriorate faster, leading to not only weakness, but also a slower metabolism, more joint pain, and a higher risk of injury. This is why many people feel like their body is betraying them as they get older, when in reality, the issue often stems from years of nutrient imbalances and not giving their body the raw materials it needs. When those gaps are filled, through balanced meals, strategic snacks, or supplementation when necessary, the body can regain much of its former strength, proving that weakness is rarely permanent when addressed correctly. Think of your muscles like a construction site. Training is the blueprint. It tells your body where to build and what needs to be stronger. But nutrients are the bricks, the cement, and the workers. Without them, construction halts. You can have the best blueprint, the hardest work ethic, and all the motivation in the world. But if you don't supply the materials, your body has nothing to build with. This is why some people, despite spending hours in the gym, see little progress, while others who balance training with proper nutrition watch their body transform steadily over time. It's not about eating more food, but eating the right food consistently and understanding that even one nutrient-dense snack a day can tip the balance from stagnation to growth because it fills a gap the body desperately needs. When someone finally addresses these deficiencies, the transformation goes beyond physical strength. Energy levels rise, mood improves, and mental focus sharpens because muscles aren't the only tissues benefiting. Your brain, your organs, and your immune system all rely on the same nutrients to function at their best. The fatigue that once felt like a permanent weight begins to lift, workouts become more productive, and confidence returns because the body feels alive again. Weakness, in most cases, is not a permanent state but a signal, a message from your body that it's time to pay attention to what's missing, not just what's being overworked. Once that message is understood and answered with proper nutrition, strength, energy, and resilience follow naturally, proving that the foundation of a strong body isn't just in how you move, but in how you fuel the very tissues that allow you to move at all. A single nutrient-dense snack can trigger muscle recovery and growth in a way that feels almost unreal, yet it is entirely grounded in how the human body functions at its core. Many people underestimate the power of something as small as a properly designed snack because they believe that only big, heavy meals or expensive supplements can make a difference. But the truth is, muscles don't care about how large a meal is or how complicated your diet looks. They care about getting the specific building blocks they need at the exact time they need them. When you train, your muscles experience tiny tears, microtraumas that need repairing, and this process, called muscle protein synthesis, can only begin effectively when your body has access to amino acids, particularly essential ones like leucine, isoleucine, and valine. These cannot be produced by the body on their own. They must come from food. A simple snack, rich in high-quality protein and balanced with some carbohydrates, can deliver these amino acids quickly into the bloodstream, sparking the repair process, replenishing glycogen stores, and priming your body for the next challenge. The timing of this snack is crucial because after exercise, your muscles are like sponges, ready to absorb nutrients at a faster rate. In the window right after training or during prolonged periods of energy depletion, your body is more sensitive to insulin, meaning it can shuttle glucose and amino acids into your muscle cells more efficiently, fueling repair and growth. Skipping this opportunity leaves your muscles stranded, forcing the body to break down its own tissue to find the raw materials it needs, which slows recovery, increases soreness, and keeps your performance stagnant. On the other hand, a nutrient-packed snack, whether it's something like Greek yogurt with nuts and berries, a smoothie with whey protein and oats, or even a handful of lean jerky with a piece of fruit, can turn that vulnerable state into a moment of regeneration. It's a signal to your body that help is here, and instead of breaking down, it can begin building up stronger, denser muscle fibers that are ready to take on more stress in the future. What makes this so powerful is not just the protein, but the balance. Carbohydrates in this snack serve a dual purpose. They help replenish glycogen, which is your muscle's fuel reserve, and they also trigger a mild insulin response, which acts like a delivery system, pulling those amino acids into the muscle cells faster. Add in some healthy fats, just enough to support hormone production and reduce inflammation, and you've created a complete package that not only helps you recover, but also enhances the hormonal environment for muscle growth. When consumed regularly, especially after periods of stress or exertion, these snacks don't just support recovery, they create a cumulative effect where each day you feel stronger, more energized, and more resilient rather than constantly drained and stuck in a cycle of fatigue. Over time, consistently feeding your body with such nutrient-dense snacks can completely shift your progress. What once felt like endless soreness, slow recovery, and lackluster strength gains begins to feel like a steady climb toward resilience and power. You start noticing that you're able to train harder, perform better, and recover faster, not because you've magically become more athletic, but because your body finally has the fuel it's been craving. This one small habit repeated daily can become the foundation of lasting change because it addresses what many people ignore, that muscle growth and recovery aren't about intensity alone, but about replenishment and support. Without the right nutrition at the right time, even the hardest work can lead to stagnation. But with one snack, carefully chosen, you unlock the process that turns effort into results. Protein and essential amino acids are the foundation of muscle strength because without them, the body cannot repair or build the very fibers that allow you to move, lift, and perform. Every single muscle contraction, from picking up a weight to simply standing tall, depends on proteins that form the structure of your muscle cells. When you train or even perform everyday tasks, these proteins degrade as part of natural wear and tear, and the only way to replace and strengthen them is by providing your body with new amino acids from your diet. Out of the 20 amino acids the body uses, 9 are essential, meaning they cannot be synthesized internally and must be obtained through food. These essential amino acids, especially leucine, act as the trigger for muscle protein synthesis, signaling your body to stop breaking down tissue and start building new muscle. Without them, your muscles can't adapt to stress, can't grow, and over time they weaken no matter how much effort you put into training. This is why protein quality matters so much. Not all sources deliver the same amino acid profile, and muscles respond most effectively to complete proteins. Foods that provide all 9 essential amino acids in the right ratios. Animal-based proteins like eggs, lean meats, dairy, and fish tend to provide this balance naturally, while plant-based eaters often need to combine sources, like beans with rice or lentils with quinoa, to achieve the same effect. When your diet consistently supplies these building blocks, every workout becomes more productive because your muscles have what they need to heal and adapt. But when protein is lacking or incomplete, your body is forced to scavenge from its own tissues, leading to slower recovery, persistent soreness, and even muscle loss over time. Beyond growth and repair, amino acids also support critical functions that keep your muscles performing at their best. They contribute to the production of enzymes that generate energy during exercise, support neurotransmitters that keep your nervous system firing properly, and even help regulate hormones like growth hormone and insulin that directly impact muscle development. A diet rich in protein and essential amino acids doesn't just build muscle, it optimizes the entire environment for strength by improving energy availability, reducing inflammation, and supporting the signals that tell your body to prioritize growth rather than break down. When people finally understand this connection, they realize that building muscle isn't just about what happens in the gym. It's about what you supply your body every single day. A consistent intake of high-quality protein spread evenly throughout meals and snacks ensures that your muscles are always in a positive state, ready to recover and grow. It's not about overwhelming the body with massive amounts of food. It's about consistency, timing, and quality. Over weeks and months, this creates a compounding effect: more strength, less fatigue, faster recovery, and a physique that reflects the effort you put in. For anyone struggling with weak muscles or stagnant progress, focusing on protein and essential amino acids isn't just a dietary tweak. It's the cornerstone of unlocking the strength and vitality they've been chasing all along. Consistent nutrition habits matter more than extreme diets or supplements because the human body thrives on stability, not chaos, and strength is built through patterns, not quick fixes. Many people believe they can transform their energy and muscle power by jumping on the latest fad diet, cutting entire food groups, or buying expensive powders and pills, but this approach almost always fails because it focuses on short bursts of intensity instead of sustainable fuel for the long haul. Muscles don't grow in dramatic, sudden surges. They develop gradually through a constant supply of nutrients that support recovery, repair, and growth every single day. When you feed your body consistently, spreading protein across meals, including complex carbohydrates for energy and healthy fats for hormonal balance, you create a steady internal environment where your muscles never reach a point of desperation or depletion. This is when progress becomes sustainable and strength feels like something you build and maintain rather than chase in cycles of boom and bust. Extreme diets often lead to the exact opposite of what people want because they put the body into survival mode. Severe calorie restriction, eliminating carbs completely, or relying only on meal replacements can leave your muscles starved of glycogen, your energy drained, and your recovery compromised. You might lose weight on the scale, but often at the cost of muscle tissue, leaving you weaker than before. Similarly, leaning entirely on supplements without building a solid foundation of real food creates gaps that powders and pills simply can't fill. Supplements can enhance a solid routine, but they cannot replace the complex nutrients, fibers, and enzymes that whole foods provide to keep your muscles, digestive system, and metabolism running at full capacity. When your body is underfed or fed inconsistently, it prioritizes survival, slowing metabolism, holding on to fat, and breaking down muscle tissue because it cannot trust when the next wave of nourishment will arrive. When you shift to consistent habits, the change is profound. Instead of waking up exhausted, dragging yourself through workouts, and constantly craving quick energy fixes, you begin to feel a steady current of energy throughout the day. Your muscles repair faster because they have a reliable flow of amino acids and glycogen, and your workouts become opportunities to grow rather than ordeals to survive. By eating balanced meals at regular intervals, every 3 to 5 hours, you maintain stable blood sugar, support steady hormone production, and avoid the energy crashes and cravings that sabotage performance and recovery. Over time, your body becomes more efficient at using nutrients, storing glycogen, and partitioning calories toward muscle rather than fat, creating a leaner, stronger physique that doesn't depend on willpower or radical measures to maintain. Consistency also builds discipline and trust between you and your body. You no longer fear food or obsess over calories because you know each meal is fueling something bigger: your strength, your performance, your recovery, and your resilience. You stop chasing the illusion that one magic diet will transform everything and start respecting the process that true strength requires. It's not about how extreme you can be for 30 days. It's about how consistent you can be for months, years, and a lifetime. Those who understand this shift from chasing quick results to building lasting habits become the people who feel energized, recover quickly, and maintain strength long after others have burned out and given up. Fueling your body like an engine, giving it the right fuel so its performance transforms, is the core principle behind every great athlete, every resilient individual, and every person who refuses to feel weak or drained by their own choices. Your body is not just a machine, it's a high-performance system with countless moving parts, from muscles to neurons to hormones, all working together to create energy, power, and endurance. Like any engine, it responds directly to the quality of fuel you provide. Poor and low-quality fuel, processed foods stripped of nutrients, excess sugar, or empty calories, and your body struggles, misfires, and breaks down over time. Energy spikes and crashes, inflammation builds, muscles stay sore, and even your brain feels foggy because the systems meant to repair and energize you are clogged with poor inputs. But when you feed your body the right combination of clean proteins, slow digesting carbohydrates, healthy fats, and micronutrients, everything changes. The engine fires smoothly, energy flows evenly, recovery accelerates, and performance feels natural rather than forced. The key is not just eating better occasionally, but understanding that every meal and snack is a chance to either fuel your engine or contaminate it. When you start viewing food as fuel rather than just a source of pleasure or a way to suppress hunger, your decisions become more intentional. You begin asking yourself, will this choice help my muscles recover? Will it give me stable energy for the next few hours? Will it reduce inflammation or add to it? These small decisions compound, and over weeks and months, they determine whether your body feels like a finely tuned machine or a sluggish, overworked engine struggling to keep up. This mindset also helps prevent the all or nothing trap where one indulgence turns into a week of poor eating, because you understand that fueling your body is about patterns, not perfection. Once you start giving your body this level of respect, feeding it like something you want to perform at its peak rather than something you're punishing or depriving, it responds in ways that feel almost effortless. Your muscles hold on to strength because they're constantly supplied with the amino acids they need to repair. Your glycogen stores remain topped off so you can train harder without hitting a wall. Your joints ache less because anti-inflammatory fats and antioxidants from whole foods keep your tissues healthier. Even your sleep improves because your blood sugar remains stable and your hormones, including growth hormone and testosterone, function at optimal levels. These are the quiet benefits that many overlook, yet they're the foundation of true performance. When your body is fueled properly, it doesn't just move better, it feels better, thinks better, and recovers faster, creating a positive cycle where every workout, every meal, and every recovery period builds on the last. This is why fueling your body correctly isn't optional if you want real results. It's the non-negotiable factor that separates those who are constantly exhausted, injured, or plateaued from those who thrive and grow stronger year after year. You wouldn't pour dirty, cheap fuel into a race car and expect it to perform, yet many treat their own bodies with less care than a machine. But when you decide to treat your body like the high-performance system it is, every bite of food becomes an opportunity to either accelerate your progress or slow it down. Over time, that decision to consistently fuel with purpose transforms not just your muscles, but your entire life, because energy, strength, and resilience flow into everything you do, from your training to your work to your mindset. When you understand that fueling your body like an engine can transform its performance, it leads to a deeper truth. Every system in your body relies on a precise flow of nutrients, just as every moving part of an engine depends on clean oil, quality fuel, and the right maintenance to run smoothly. Your muscles are only part of the equation. Your nervous system, your metabolism, your hormones, and even your brain function in tandem with the energy and raw materials you provide. When you neglect this balance and give your body cheap, processed fuel, everything starts to misfire. Your energy becomes inconsistent, your muscles feel sluggish, your recovery slows, and your mind feels clouded. You might still function, but you're operating at a fraction of your potential, much like a car limping along on low-grade fuel with clogged filters. The moment you start delivering clean, nutrient-dense fuel consistently, lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and the essential vitamins and minerals that keep your systems running, you feel the difference everywhere. Your energy feels steady, your muscles contract with more power, your endurance stretches further, and even your focus and mood stabilize because your body isn't constantly battling inflammation, energy crashes, or nutrient shortages. It's easy to underestimate how transformative this shift can be because the results don't all appear overnight, but the change is cumulative and powerful. Each time you choose nutrient-rich foods over empty calories, you're essentially tuning your engine, making it more efficient, more powerful, and more resilient. Glycogen stores in your muscles refill more effectively, so you can perform at higher intensities without burning out. Your protein intake supports not just muscle repair, but the production of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which directly influence motivation and mental clarity. The right fats, like omega-3s, reduce systemic inflammation, protecting your joints and speeding recovery so you're not sidelined by stiffness or injury. Even micronutrients like magnesium, zinc, and B vitamins quietly work behind the scenes, supporting energy metabolism and muscle contractions, so that when you ask your body to deliver, it responds like a finely tuned machine rather than a struggling, worn-down system. The most important part of this engine analogy is understanding that quality fuel is not a luxury. It's the foundation of performance. You wouldn't pour sugar water into a performance car and expect it to win a race, yet many people try to push their bodies to their limits while fueling with fast food, sugary snacks, and nutrient-empty meals. The body can tolerate poor fuel for a while, just as a car can limp along, but over time, the wear shows. Recovery slows, strength plateaus, energy dips, and injuries creep in because the systems meant to keep you strong and resilient are starved of the resources they need. When you finally make the shift and feed your body with precision, the transformation is undeniable. Workouts feel more productive, daily energy feels smoother, and your muscles respond with strength and resilience because every cell, every process is supported rather than starved. The body, like any engine, can only perform to the level of care and fuel it receives. And when you choose to respect it, it pays you back with power you never thought possible. This understanding leads directly into another principle: your performance, recovery, and growth all depend on respecting your body as the living machine it is, not treating it as something you can neglect until it breaks down. Muscles are not just bundles of tissue, they're a reflection of how well your entire internal system is functioning. When you provide your body with what it truly needs, everything aligns. Energy systems fire properly, hormones like testosterone and growth hormone support tissue repair, and inflammation remains under control so your joints and tendons can handle the stress of training. When you ignore these needs, the opposite happens: energy spikes and crashes leave you drained, cortisol levels rise and slow recovery, inflammation builds, and your muscles struggle to hold on to strength because the internal environment is hostile rather than supportive. It's not just about what you eat, but how consistently you meet these needs, because the body doesn't thrive on random bursts of care. It thrives on steady, predictable support that allows it to operate like the high-performance engine it's designed to be. When you start living by this principle, everything in your life feels different. You stop feeling like you're constantly dragging yourself through the day. And instead, you feel as if your body is carrying you forward. Your muscles feel stronger because they're not just being trained, they're being nourished. Your energy lasts because your meals are built to sustain, not just spike and crash. You recover faster because your body has the building blocks it needs, not just when it's convenient, but all the time. You stop viewing food as an enemy or a fleeting source of pleasure and start seeing it as the fuel that determines how you feel, move, and perform in every area of your life. This shift doesn't just make you stronger in the gym, it makes you sharper at work, more present with your family, and more resilient when life tests you, because your body is no longer holding you back. It's powering you forward. The truth is, the human body is built to perform at incredible levels, but only when it's treated with the same respect you'd give any finely tuned machine. The right fuel, delivered consistently, doesn't just build muscle, it builds a life where energy, focus, and strength are the norm rather than the exception. Every meal, every choice becomes a small investment in that life, and over time, those investments compound into a body that feels alive, resilient, and capable of more than you ever thought possible. If you want to break free from weakness, fatigue, and frustration, stop looking for shortcuts and start treating your body like the powerful engine it is. Fuel it with precision, care, and consistency, and watch as it repays you with performance, recovery, and growth that feel almost effortless, because you're finally working with your body, not against it. When you realize that fueling your body like an engine can transform its performance, you also understand that weakness isn't just a result of training less or lacking willpower, but often a reflection of how you've been feeding or neglecting your body over time. The truth is simple yet powerful. Every choice you make with food is either feeding your strength or feeding your weakness. It's not about being perfect or never enjoying what you eat, but about understanding that every bite carries a consequence. The meals and snacks you choose either provide the protein, carbohydrates, fats, and micronutrients your body craves to repair, rebuild, and grow, or they rob your body of the chance to perform, leaving your muscles starved, your energy flat, and your recovery slow. This is where the difference between staying weak and becoming powerful is decided. Not in the gym, not in how heavy you lift, but in the hundreds of small decisions you make daily about what fuel enters your system. Weak muscles often don't happen because someone isn't trying. People push hard in the gym, they commit to routines, they sweat, they grind, but then they sabotage their progress by neglecting what matters most, feeding their recovery. Muscles don't grow when you're lifting, they grow after, when you're resting and refueling. If you skip that part or fill that window with foods that provide empty calories rather than real nourishment, your body has no choice but to slow the rebuilding process. It scavenges whatever it can find, sometimes even breaking down more tissue than it repairs, leaving you in a cycle of fatigue and stagnation. On the other hand, when you decide to fuel with purpose, something shifts. That post-workout meal rich in quality protein and slow digesting carbs doesn't just fill your stomach, it becomes the raw material your muscles use to patch every micro tear, to store energy for the next challenge, and to come back stronger than before. Each time you make that choice, you're not just eating, you're building strength brick by brick. The compounding effect of these choices is where real transformation happens. One smart meal won't make you strong, but hundreds will. One poorly chosen snack won't ruin you, but making it a habit will. Over weeks and months, these seemingly small choices create a gap between two versions of yourself, one who constantly feels drained, sore, and frustrated by a lack of progress, and another who feels steady, powerful, and able to handle more every time you step into the gym or face a demanding day. The difference isn't magic or genetics, it's consistency. Those who choose to feed their strength day after day build a momentum that feels almost unstoppable because their body begins to trust them. The muscles stop breaking down unnecessarily, energy flows more steadily, and recovery becomes faster, which in turn allows for better training sessions and even more growth. This cycle feeds on itself, and before long, what once felt like weakness transforms into a sense of power that carries beyond the gym and into every part of life. Feeding your strength also has a psychological impact that many overlook. When you start treating your meals as tools for performance rather than just sources of comfort or indulgence, your relationship with food changes. You stop fearing it or using it as a way to escape, and you start seeing it as an ally, a way to empower yourself. Each meal becomes a conscious act of building the version of yourself you want to be: strong, resilient, and capable. This mindset builds discipline, not through restriction, but through purpose. You're no longer skipping meals out of neglect or binging out of habit because you understand the cost of both. Instead, you eat with intention, knowing that every nutrient is contributing to something bigger: your energy, your strength, your health, your confidence. Over time, this not only changes your body, but your mentality, because you start proving to yourself meal after meal, and you are capable of making choices that serve your long-term goals rather than your short-term impulses. There's also a resilience that comes from feeding your strength rather than your weakness. Life will always bring stress, setbacks, and moments where you feel drained, but when your body is fueled properly, you handle these moments differently. A well-fed body recovers from stress faster, keeps energy stable even under pressure, and avoids the crashes that make everything feel heavier. Your immune system stays stronger, your hormones stay more balanced, and your mind stays clearer because your body isn't fighting to survive, it's thriving. You're not constantly catching up or trying to dig yourself out of exhaustion. You're maintaining a foundation that keeps you steady even when everything else feels chaotic. This resilience is often the dividing line between those who burn out when life gets hard and those who push through, because strength isn't just about lifting more or running faster, it's about having the energy and recovery to keep showing up when it matters most. At its core, choosing to feed your strength is about realizing that power doesn't come from a single massive effort, but from thousands of small, intentional actions. Every time you choose a meal that nourishes rather than drains, every time you make sure your muscles get the protein they need, every time you pick the fuel that sustains your energy rather than spikes and crashes it, you're reinforcing the version of yourself that can do more, endure more, and become more. Weakness fades not because you shouted louder in the gym or pushed yourself past the breaking point, but because you respected your body enough to give it what it needs to grow stronger every day. When you live this way, strength stops feeling like something you chase and starts feeling like something you own, because you've built it from the inside out, one choice at a time.